All right, people, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good everything, wherever you're joining us from, as in this is the WordCafé live show with Amachree Isoboye. Don't worry, don't be bored. It's the month of March. We are celebrating the women in our lives, around us, in our society, in our home, everywhere. I mean, it's been a wonderful, wonderful ride, So this evening, I have a phenomenal woman in the studio with me. Yes, still celebrating that phenomenal woman essence around us. She is Olubukola Seun-Oguntuga. The way we do it in the studio, we don't introduce them. We just allow them introduce themselves to us because, like we always say, nobody knows you like you do. You know you. Okay, how are you? You're welcome to the show tonight. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. Amachree, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here this evening. Thank you. Good
Pleasure is
evening,
ours.
everyone. Good
Pleasure is
evening,
ours
good
in the
morning,
studio.
from
So
wherever
who
you
is
are listening
Bookie?
from.
So who is Bookie? Let's
Okay,
meet Bookie.
how do I explain this? I think I am a very strong woman. I was raised to be a strong person and very independent by my dad. I think my dad didn't raise me like a girl child. He raised
Oh,
me like a
mm-hmm,
child, right? So
mm-hmm.
I'm the first of four. So my dad
Okay.
just raised me like a child. He wasn't really concerned about my gender. So I did practically everything. I washed car, I washed my dad's clothes. I know it made
Mm,
demands of me that thinking about it now, I probably wouldn't have made it of a girl child at the time, but my dad was not concerned about that. And those things I think contributed to the woman I am now. I'm very independent minded. I'm not afraid to do things. I like to do things afraid. So I would say that Bukola is a strong woman. She's a courageous woman, not because she's not afraid, but because she decides to
mm,
go ahead to do whatever she wants to do, even though she's afraid. So, I mean, and I learned that over the years because many of the things I eventually do, I do it in spite of my fear. So, I
mm.
am a courageous woman. I learned that from experience, all my life experiences, my failures, my successes, my disappointments, my excitement, the things that made me happy, the things that made me sad, all contributed to the person that I've become. So I don't regret my experiences. I believe that all my experiences are useful to me. I believe that
Mm,
anything God allows in my life is for a reason. So I may not understand it when I'm going through it, but I
mm,
try not to endure whatever I'm going through. As soon as I pray about it and I see that it's not going away, I tell myself that okay, Bukola, so what's the lesson to be learned? You need to
mhm,
because my experiences taught me and my work with God taught me that when you are going through stuff and you pray and you see God is not taking that situation away or is not changing it immediately, He's probably trying to teach you something. So you
okay.
try not to endure, but try to take
Mm,
focus on the lessons, try to see what God is teaching you. And when they tell you gold goes through fire, becomes shining, and then an
mhm,
oyster when it's bringing out the shell, the process of bringing out the oyster is a very difficult process. It's a very painful process. So
yeah.
those things all formed the person that I am. So I wouldn't
Wow.
say one experience formed me. I would say a combination of everything I've gone through in my
Mm,
almost 42 years on this side of
mhm.
eternity formed the person that I am.
Eternity.
And I'm still work in
Wow.
progress. Yes, I'm still work in progress. I feel like I've not discovered all of me, and that's why I keep
Okay.
trying to do so many things because I feel like there's a sense of urgency that Bukola, you don't know when God is going to say, babe, it's time to come home. So you have to do as much as you can do within the time that you have here, just so that you go
Yeah.
home empty. So I'm always trying to create a sense of urgency for whatever I find myself doing. And that's why when you threw this opportunity open, I said to myself, well, I've never done a podcast, but hey, why not? And then I
Why
jumped on
not?
it. So
Wow.
yes, why not? So even up until the moment we started, I was still thinking, so what am I going to say? I don't know what I'm going to
Well,
say. But then I said to myself, you know what? I'll say something. I'm sure I'll say something. And here I am. So that's who I
yeah,
am.
yeah,
I I like to take the lead all the time. So
good.
that's who I am.
Here at the cafe, like I always tell my guests, and when I talk to people to come on the show, I tell them this atmosphere is alive. You don't know what to say, good, but when you come into this atmosphere, the life within the
Mhm.
atmosphere will give you what to say. Just like you just introduced yourself now, saying
Yeah,
you
I
are a
agree.
strong, you are a strong person. I mean, I like that. You are a strong person. It's not as if you're not afraid, but you take on challenges, and at the end of the day, you come to see the best of you after taking on
Absolutely.
those challenges.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, can
Absolutely.
you tell us
Absolutely.
what is that phenomenal woman essence story? Your story, Bukola's story.
Okay. When I've been thinking about that since you gave me that hint earlier today, and I've been wondering, okay, so which story am I going to tell? Which story am I going to tell? Because there are so many stories to tell. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
all my experiences are very remarkable. All my experiences shaped who I am. So I'm not
Okay.
able to say, okay, this is the one that makes me a phenomenal woman. I think all of my experiences, all the stories of my life,
Okay, let us
all the
have
things
tidbits
that
from
I've
here
been
and
through.
there.
Okay, like I said earlier, the way my father raised me, I used to wash my dad's car. So when
Mm.
I bought my first car and all the cars I bought, it took me a while to take my cars to the car wash. I just couldn't do that
Really?
because I could wash it myself. And yes, and my dad even made it worse. He will buy you car wash. That liquid. My dad will buy it for you and say,
The
I
liquid and
just put it in
everything.
your car. So absolutely. So I didn't used to take my car to the car wash and you just
Mm.
wash your car yourself. I found it was very exciting. It was good exercise for me. And then or is it when I the first time I went abroad, I didn't tell my parents about it. I just decided that it was about time I started going on vacation and it
Mm.
was self-sponsored. It was the first time I was going to do that. I'd never gone outside this country before. And to think that before then I had gotten myself my international passport like 3 years before then. And this passport lasts for 5 years. So the first thing I
Mm-hmm.
did, I was like, I took a road trip to Ghana, right? Just to make sure that I
Okay.
got my passport stamped. And then I said, you know what? Like 3 years down the line, I said, okay, I want to go to England. And I just decided I was going to spend my vacation in England that year. I didn't tell my dad, I didn't tell my mom. And I guess my dad did not, he didn't really feel too bad because that's who he raised me to be. Because I was going to travel the
Yeah.
next day and I just told my dad, like, okay, so I'm going to England tomorrow. And he looked at me and was like, did you just plan that or you've been thinking about it for a long time? I said, I just want to go on holiday. And he said, okay, fine, have fun. So I even though it took me a long time, well, maybe it took me a long time to get married,
Mm.
even though it took me a while to get married. My dad didn't really pressure me. He just told me,
Okay.
he said, enjoy being single, buy a car if you can afford it, buy a
Mm.
house if you can afford it, do everything you want to do as a single. I'm not putting you under pressure. The man will come. So he just gave me the liberty to be myself. So
Mm.
I tried to live my life to the fullest when I was single. So am I going to talk about that? Or when I started working, and just before I started working, I went for a leadership academy course, and there I realized that I was here for a reason. I mean, I'm here for a reason. God created me for a reason. So I need to find that reason and I need to fulfill that purpose. And as I went each day after that, I began to see why God created me. And it took me a number of years to finally gain clarity on what my purpose was. But I began to see it. But I was more conscious about finding out the here. So when I started noticing some things, some trends, like what DDK said the day she was talking about purpose, the
Yeah.
people around you, the things you've gone through. Because as a lawyer, when you're starting out, at the time I was starting out, it wasn't really fun. I didn't get a job on time. I don't come from a family of lawyers, so it's not like I had connections and all of that. So I had to literally find my way through the profession all by myself. My parents didn't know too many lawyers that they could go and speak to get me a job. So I literally had to pound the streets myself, and I didn't want to work on the mainland. If you stay in Lagos, there's this thing about working on the mainland and working on the island. You have the island lawyers and you have the mainland lawyers. I didn't want to be a mainland lawyer because you wouldn't be able to you won't be able to earn enough money. I wanted to be an island lawyer. So I would
Wow.
leave
We never knew
I
this. So
would
you
leave
have the
Makoto.
mainland lawyers
Oh yes, you
and
have
the
the mainland
island
lawyers and you
lawyers.
have the island lawyers. The
Awesome.
island lawyers are the ones that do most of the commercial transactions, and the mainland lawyers are
Okay.
typically litigation lawyers. They go to court most of the time. I didn't want to do that,
Wow.
right? So I
Now,
wanted to
now
be
we know
on the
this.
island. So I
Now we
would,
know this.
so
Bukola. Sorry.
I
Now we
would
know this. So we
leave.
know how to approach Lagos.
Yes, it's true. So I would leave my parents' house. My parents live in Magodo, which was very close to the old toll gate, and I
Okay.
would take a bus to the island to go job searching. So I was very, very deliberate about where I was searching for a job. So I would
Mm.
walk the streets of Marina. I had, and then internet was not all over the place then. So I'd have gone to a cyber cafe maybe the day before, trying to find out all the law firms on the island. So I would take a bus from the mainland, go to the island, and start going to look at those offices and drop my CV. You couldn't do
Wow.
it the way you do it now. You just send it by email. You had to go to
Mm-hmm.
literally visit those offices and offer yourself. So I did that by
Mm.
myself. I didn't have my parents do that for me. So I walked the streets
Whoa.
until I found a place, and that way I moved. I started from Broad Street, and then I moved to Lekki. Instead of
Mm.
living in Lekki. So it was deliberate. I was very, very deliberate about it. I didn't want to work on the mainland, so I did not look for a job on the land. Even when my dad tried
Wow.
to find me somewhere, and then my dad went to find me somewhere, and then he found somewhere mile 12. This man, big law firm. If you know mile 12 is synonymous with the um, foodstuff market in Lagos. So
Okay.
I said to myself, offices, I will say mile 12. And the first thing that will come to their mind is the foodstuff market. No way. There's no way I'm going to walk there. So I refused. I refused. And I said, I am going to walk on the island. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to walk on the island.
Wow.
When
Wow.
you
So more or less,
desire
you.
something,
Hello,
there's this
Bukola.
thing about when you desire something. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes. Go on.
So I was saying there's this thing about when you desire something so much, when you desire it so maybe because I literally desired to work on the island, as in I literally everything began to work
To fall in
fine
line. Good. Good. That's awesome.
before I
Now,
finally
what
ended up in Lake.
you
Yes,
kept
yeah.
referring you kept referring to your dad. Your dad. It appears like your daddy's girl, as in
Okay.
So,
My siblings will say that. I mean, they'll tell you that Bukola is daddy's girl, but we were not very good friends when I was. I didn't like the way he was treating me. I didn't like it. But now when I think about it, I'm very
mhm,
grateful in the way he treated me. Because if he did not raise me like that, I would probably not have been able to survive all the things I went through. Because trust me, I have been through a lot.
good.
Understand me.
So
But
so daddy
because
saw,
of the way
so
my
that
dad raised,
daddy saw the future. He saw the future more or less,
maybe,
and he decided like
maybe
to
I guess
expose
he
you to
did.
certain things.
Absolutely, I guess he did. Because
So
honestly,
what do you have
if
to
he had
say?
raised
What do
me
you have
maybe
to
like
say?
my daddy, he knows
Okay,
I love him. I know. He knows. Can you hear me?
I can. Yes, I can hear that from your voice. The love you have for him. I wanted to ask. So
Yes, I love
what
him,
would
but
you
we don't
say?
quarrel a lot.
It's fine. What would you say? Advising fathers, with their girl children, based on your
Oh
experience with
wow.
your dad.
I would say fathers should raise independent girls. They should raise their
Mm,
girls to be independent, strong women, strong,
mm,
strong sense of character, strong sense of integrity. Train them to raise them to be able to do absolutely anything, and I mean anything.
mm,
Raise them, raise them like you want them to be, to be honest, because there's so much out there that does not, you know, does not favor the girl child. So if you raise the girl child without strength, sense of character, or strength, that's strength from within, and that's um
yeah.
recognition that you are something and you are worth something. They will just accept whatever life gives to them. They will not make a demand on the world or on life itself. So I
So you
reckon,
need
because
to
of the way
you
my
need
dad
to
raised me,
train
and I,
them.
yes, you need to train them to want to own the world. And the only way you do that is to you raise them independent. Raise them to be able to do things for themselves. Raise them to be able to think for themselves. Raise them to be able
Good.
to, you know,
Hmm.
just be able to see the future, what kind of future they want, the kind of
They want.
life they want for themselves in the future. The kind of, yes, you have to raise them to do that. Don't raise them to be
Mm,
dependent, do things, or to think, or to make decisions. Let them be able to make those decisions themselves, and then you provide guidance. So when I started making decisions, like when I just woke up and decided I was going on holiday in England, my
mhm,
dad, he couldn't
mhm,
say when, why, how can you say, because I was still living with him, he couldn't buy. I had already bought the tickets. All he could say was, okay, so when are you coming back? You know,
exactly.
the day I bought my first car, he just came and he saw it and he said, okay, nice one, nice one. Have you gotten all the papers and all of that? Congratulations. This is the
Mm,
first one. I know you're going to do better than this. That's what he said. I remember the first day I bashed somebody's car in the compound, and he came back from church. He just looked at the car and said to me, "Oh, this can be fixed." He looked at the other car I bashed and said to the guy, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll get the organized. I mean, the panel beater to look at this car tomorrow." And then he looked straight at
mhm.
me and said, "I hope you're not telling me you're not going to tell me you won't drive this car to work tomorrow," because I still had the learner sign on it. So he just looked
Mm,
straight and said, "You can't tell me you're not driving this car to work tomorrow." And I was already deciding that I was not going to drive to work tomorrow because I was
you
scared.
have to
I
go
just
to
bashed
work
the
tomorrow
car.
with
How
this
can I?
car.
You know what I mean? And
I
he just looked
do.
straight at me and said, "I hope you're not going to tell me you're not." You know, I was shocked. I was like, "What
Hmm.
is wrong with this man?" But you know what? I drove the car, and in less than 3 months,
Hmm.
I removed my learner sign. You know,
It's part of
and then
life.
okay, there was- absolutely, it's like the day I remember now. There was a day I was robbed, and gunpoint. They took my car, kept me in the car, and I think I still had the phone. So I called my dad and I told him, Daddy, I was just robbed. He said, okay, so how are you? I said, I'm fine. He said, so what do you need me to do for you? I said, okay, can you bring me the spare key for the car? He said, okay, where is it? Just asked me where it was. And he brought me the spare key of the car, Amachree. He did not say, Bukola, don't you think you want to go home? You are shocked. You need to settle down and understand what happened. He brought me the spare key of the car
He
and
knows.
told me,
He
I'll see
knows
you
what
later.
he has done to your. He knows what he
And
has
I
done to his
drove that
daughter.
car.
You know, grooming her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So men should raise their daughters to be independent, strong women. It would help them. It would really help them.
Amazing.
It's you know
Lovely.
what they say, it's a man's world. As much as we try not to agree with that, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. So if you are going to make an impact in that world, you are going to
Mm-hmm.
have to be men every step of the way. And the only way you can do that is if you were raised to think like that and act like that. If you can't
Good.
do it. So
Awesome.
it really helped me. It
Good.
really helped me.
Now
So yes,
you're
my
a
dad.
lawyer.
My dad.
Good. You're a lawyer from what you just presented now. What's it like for you?
Yeah.
A lawyer working, that environment, that space is male dominated. So what is it like for you? Practice. Are you a practicing lawyer, or as in you go to court and all that,
Yes,
or you work with the firm?
well, I stopped going to court like 11 years ago. Not because I just don't like the adjournments and stuff. I mean, so I just decided that was not for me. So I decided to focus on corporate practice, which is being a solicitor. In Nigeria, we are allowed to be solicitors and barristers. The barristers are the ones that go to court all the time. So I decided to abandon that part of my practice because, I mean, I was just tired of the adjournments. But some people live for it. Some people don't mind. So, but I just got tired, and I don't think I've been to court in like 11 years. Yes, 11 years. So yes, I haven't. Yes.
Okay.
So
what
I
do
mean,
you do?
in I am a solicitor.
No, go on.
So I do transactions.
Okay.
I do transactions. We're the ones that try to make sure that transactions are done right so that you don't end up in court. You understand what I mean?
Negotiation.
The people that go to court
and all that.
Absolutely, yeah. The people that go to court are the ones that try to settle the matter after the matter has broken down irretrievably.
You don't want it to get to the court, so let us settle it here now.
Absolutely. So we try to put the transactions together in such a way that it doesn't get to court, or even when it does get to court or the parties disagree, there's you have already made provisions in the agreement for how the parties would settle whatever disagreements they have. So that's what I do now. And then another thing that I now do, which is what I found out to be my purpose. I love young people. I find them very exciting. They excite me. The possibilities and the potentials that are in young people really blow me away. I discovered over time that I enjoy talking to them and they enjoy talking to me. Sometimes I'm their worst critic. I give it to them hot, but they keep coming back. so I found out that they keep coming back. I don't know why they do, but they just keep coming back to me. So I kind of now started trying to pay attention. And over time, perhaps this is my purpose. I found out that when I spend time with them, when I talk to them, when they, talk to me about what they're going through, and we talk about it, and we, kind of like try to think through the issues, they come out better, at the end of the day. And so I now decided that I will be more deliberate about it. So
Okay.
when I got to my second office on the island in Lekki, where I spent almost 10 years, I was now more
Mm,
deliberate about it. And what I
okay.
now decided to do was to make sure that I mentored students that came on attachment to our office. And when I say
Okay.
attachment, there's this thing, it's part of their legal education. When you're in law school, you have to spend, like, I think it's about 3 or 4 weeks. You have to spend in a law office to see how a law office runs and how lawyers
Yeah.
work. So when those
Okay.
students come, I try to mentor the ones that I can mentor. And
Mm-hmm.
then when my managing partner at the time, when we're going to send us the first batch of law students, then, we had a meeting and it was like, Bukola, we can't just let these students sit down the whole period they were going to be in the office. Because when I had my own chamber attachments many years ago in one law firm in Ilopeju, the guy just kept us in the library and we were just reading. And law school studying is so tedious. You don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
studying all the time because as you're opening the pages of the book, you're forgetting. So, but the guy just kept us there. So, my managing partner said, "You can't just keep these students here. They can read when they get to what is it that we're going to do for them." So, and he came to me and I was like, "Okay, why don't we have a structured where we would take them some of their courses. We would also, um, you know, speak to them about what the expectations are so that, those things will
Mm,
stay with them. They're reading some of these things in the book, but then when you explain to them and they see it done, it sticks with them longer
yeah.
and they're able to
Yeah.
remember even when they're studying. So,
Yeah.
and that's how we, you know, created a structured attachment program for law students for that office. And, as
Mm,
time went by, I think the next year I suggested that, okay, instead of just having them just taking lectures from us lawyers, why don't we attach each student to a lawyer so that each student is mentored directly by a lawyer? Because at the end of the
okay.
attachment, you have to fill their logbook and just try to
The logbook.
comment.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing, yeah, there's this thing that we say in law, especially when you're in school, and they say you have to be able to confirm that the person is a fit and proper person. So, you have to. So, I thought that to be able to comment on whether somebody is fit and proper, it would be better and more beneficial to the students if the assessment that works directly with them. So
Yeah.
we agreed that each student would have a lawyer attached to them. So there's a direct mentoring relationship. And those
Okay.
relationships, interestingly, some of them have grown outside of that period. I have
Mm-hmm.
students that, and were attached to our office at that time that are still good friends with me now. They
Mm,
still talk
yeah.
to me. They still question. They still, some of them I have coached, you know. Some of them were even the ones that helped me realize that I was a coach because one of them called me a coach one day and I was wondering, oh, I thought I was
Mm.
mentoring you. Actually, you're a fantastic coach. That you just, you stay in the background and you tell us, go like this, do it like this, and you get the results. So it was from
Mm.
those interactions that I began to realize that, okay, I'm not just a mentor, I'm also a
Mm-hmm.
coach. Like, I can
Wow.
do this.
Wow.
So, over time, I began to get clarity on my purpose and what I was
Mm.
supposed to be doing. So, yes, I'm a
Yeah.
lawyer, but this is the other thing that makes me tick. I mean, when I'm doing it, I'm in my elements. I am so
You're you're
excited. I
you're
enjoy
just
it because I
you're being
know
you.
absolutely, as in, I am just in the best place, to be honest.
Wow.
So I
Wonderful.
now decided that I was going to take it more seriously. So I
Okay.
paid attention
Hello,
to
Buki.
invite
Are you there?
one person. Can you hear me?
Hello, Bukola. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
All right. The network is a bit we had a little glitch there.
I can
So
hear
I mean I
you.
can hear from your voice the
Can you hear me
passion
now?
as in yeah, I can hear you. So I can hear from your voice the passion, as in that passion for young
So,
people.
oh yes, I love them. I absolutely love them, and I have seen the results. I have seen young people evolve into fantastic
Wonderful,
masterpieces. People they did not imagine they
wonderful,
could be. I have seen it
wonderful.
over and over. So it just excites me when I get another opportunity to do it. So I was constantly, I'll just pray that I maybe beginning of a new year and I'll be like, God, send me young people.
Mm,
And you will send me young people. You will send me, they will just come, I will just say,
deliberate,
God, send me young people, send me new ones. Yes, and they will come
deliberate.
and I will find them. Maybe they would come. So yeah. So that's
Your husband,
that's that's
your
the one
husband
thing that
must be a happy man, as in proud of you. You know the energy that
I
you are
believe
exhibiting.
my husband is an amazing man, and I'm for him. I'm so glad I waited for him. I don't know if any other man could have married me and been able to deal with me, the strong
Mm,
man that I am. I'm serious.
mhm,
I don't think so.
mhm.
I think it was made especially for me. You know, he just handles me well. I'm a handful. I can tell you that. So
I can imagine. I can imagine.
I so I believe God wired him specifically for me, and
Mm,
he's been amazing. Very supportive,
mm, mm,
very very supportive of me, of whatever
mm.
I want to do part time. He just encourages me. He tells me, "Is that what you want to do?" And I'll yes, and he'll say, "Okay." And he supports me, gives me the support I need. Like now, he helped me
Wonderful.
set this place up. He's
Wow.
taking my son
Wow.
away so that he doesn't make noise in the background.
Wow.
So he gives me all the support I need. So yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
my husband is
Awesome.
amazing. Yeah.
So what is that message you have for those women out there, the single women, the married women? What's that message?
To the single women, I'll say enjoy your single days. I mean,
Mm,
just live your life to the fullest. Don't put your life on hold.
mhm,
Don't put your life on hold. Just live. Just live. Enjoy your life. You know, fulfill, do whatever you're supposed to be doing at that time. Don't
okay.
postpone it. Okay, I'll do this when I get married. I'll do this. No, just do it because you never
Just
know.
do it. Yeah.
Just do it. Just do
Just
it.
do it.
Just
Good.
live your life. Enjoy your life. Have fun.
Mhm,
You know, to
mhm,
the married women, I say marriage is a mission. Marriage is destiny assignment. Just
mhm.
make sure that you fulfill that assignment as you fulfill other things that you are your assignment.
Sounds
Take your
good.
marriage seriously. I have this friend that is a marriage coach, and she says that you know it is a partnership, and that's the way I think my marriage to my husband is, and that's what I tell young people. Marry your friend. My husband is
Mm,
my friend. I mean, we quarrel a lot, we disagree
mhm,
a lot, we don't agree all the time,
mhm,
but he's still my friend.
mhm,
He's the one I gist with, he's the one that I do my apropos with, he's the one that I'm always saying,
mhm.
do you know, and everybody in my office. So I'm not, when I'm gisting him, I'm not saying, okay, there's this guy in my office. I tell him the person's name and he goes like, okay, is it Ayokule today? So that's how well we gist. I tell him everything that happens to me
Everything.
every day. So he literally knows all my friends, my classmates, everyone around you. So your husband is your best friend, is your partner. Treat your marriage as a partnership. You are together. It's teamwork. If the thing doesn't work, you have both
Teamwork.
failed. It's not about it's teamwork. You have to do things together. You have to support each other. You have to help each other. I remember when I was pregnant and
Beautiful.
you know my taste buds were whack, and I was trying to cook. And one day to be salty, some day to be pepperish. I know my husband was eating it like that, and one day he said, "You know what, madam, enough." And he started cooking, and all I would do is I'll stand by the kitchen door and just give him guidance. Okay, put the salt now, put the seasoning now, and that's how my husband learned to cook a lot of things.
That's
Because
wonderful.
we don't like to eat out. So marriage is a partnership. You have to see it like that. You have to see it like together you make progress, together you are succeeding. If it doesn't work, two of you, and God does not even see two. God sees one person.
One.
Because two of you have become one. Absolutely. So that's what I would say to married people. Treat your husband like your partner. He's your best friend. He should be your best friend.
Amazing. Oh, Bukola, thank you so much. We can go on and on and on. But
Yes.
It's an honor having you on this show to share
Thank you
that
so much
phenomenal
for
one
having me.
essence. Pleasure is ours. Guys, we've been hearing the voice of Olubukola Seun-Oguntuga, a lawyer, a seasoned lawyer, a coach. She's a wife and she's a mother. I mean, she's shared so much with us on the show. And I believe if you were following, I've been picking those things she has shared with us. I mean, you can go on and apply these things in your life and become that success God has destined, you to be. Well, you know how we do it on the show. We can go on and on talking, but we need to, slip out a bit. Yes, we're still on it. The celebration of our women, around us, in us, everywhere. So we'll continue the discussion again tomorrow. Yes, and when I have someone special, I use the word special for a reason. You will know when we hear from her tomorrow. Buki, thank you so much. Regards to your husband, your son, and everybody. Thank you. Till we come your way again, Amachree Isoboye on the WordCafé. I believe in the power of words, for it is the unit of creation. Thank you. Bye, Buki.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.